How you think about business is how you end up doing business. And how you think about business has everything to do with how you think about sales. Whoa.
It's the Plantscape Business School Podcast. This is the podcast for growing not just beautiful plants, but thriving plantscape businesses. Here's your host, longtime Plantscape business owner, systems nerd, and small business innovator, Brad Miller.
Welcome to Plantscape Business School Podcast. This week is part one of your selling systems. This week, we're going to dig into your belief systems around sales and selling. That quote that I began with is from Eileen Fram, and she is the co-founder, along with Michael Gerber, of the E-Myth. Yes, she's brilliant. When she first gave that quote, it was about money. She was doing a presentation about how business owners think about money. But the quote works perfectly for sales as well. When you think about your belief systems, your mindset about sales, consider this quote by Deming. Your systems are perfectly designed for the results you're getting. Now, that's a quote that I've known for years, and I love it because I love business systems, but I heard it one time by a business coach, and he started talking about belief systems, that your belief systems are perfectly designed for the results you're getting. And at first I'm like, no, that has to do with business systems. But in 2 seconds, I'm like, wow, no, that's about belief systems as well. So this episode is about bringing some awareness to our own BS. What is the BS that you have around your company's sales and selling? And I'm talking about your belief systems as well. What are our sales and selling belief systems? And in this 10 to 12 minute episode, I want to talk about 10 different beliefs that we need to be aware of when we're thinking about sales and selling in our own Plantscape company. Any company, but we're dealing specifically with plantscaping. Number one is selling is an honorable profession. And friend, it is. But we've all had some negative, maybe some sleazy experiences with salespeople, and salespeople just kind of get this bad rap. But sales and selling is an honorable profession because if you come at it with the desire to help and serve the person, you can deliver just beautiful transformation, whether it's for someone's home or for their business or something personally that they need. So get that first one right. Selling is an honorable profession. Number two is that sales and selling is an acquired skill. I love to say there's no such thing as a born salesperson. Yes, there are certain personalities that might lend themselves better to the sales and selling profession, but salesmanship is an art. Listen to this. The perfection of its technique requires study and practice. Who said that? None other than James Cash Penney, also known as JC. Number three, mindset makeover. Selling is a system. And by system, I mean it's a collection of processes. Your processes all come together to create a very predictable and sustainable system that works because you're working it the same way. It's not a hit or miss haphazard approach to your selling. And when we get into episode part 2 on sales and selling, we're going to really dig into the specifics of a selling system. Number 4 is sales training is essential. And like I said, no such thing as a born salesperson. And if you have someone who has a teachable spirit, someone who can work alongside you and learn about your specific company, your products, your ideal customers, that is a valuable employee. Someone who has a desire to learn how to not just sell, but sell specifically what your company has. That's huge. Sales, here we go. Sales is asking. So that's mindset makeover number 5. Sales is asking. I love to say this. Salespeople fail because they fall down on their ask. And a lot of times we don't get the sale or the appointment simply because we don't ask. Here's a phraseology, a sales script that I learned when I was doing phone calling to get that initial sale. And they had heard from us a lot. So when I got them on the phone, the decision maker on the phone, I would say this: the reason for my call is to ask for an appointment so that I can show you what we've done for other hotels just like yours. And I specifically use the word ask. Wow, what a game changer. Mindset makeover number 6. Sales is a muscle. What I mean by that is that repetition creates strength and confidence. If you're doing sales, you need to do something every day. You need to create some sales practices, some rituals. Find your practice and practice your practice. One of the most classic sales books was written by Og Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world. And he would say, find your practice and make your practice your prisoner. And it was just this great idea that we will grow if we treat the thing that we're working on with respect and discipline and continue to practice. Now bring that idea to sales, and that's huge. Number 7, selling is creating customers. You heard this in my previous episode, but it's worth repeating right here. The sole purpose of business is to create and keep customers. Now listen, that's great for your salespeople, but it's probably even more important for you as the business owner. You have to have this idea that this week, today, I'm going to put in some effort to create customers. And the way that you create customers is by being really, really good at sales. Mindset makeover number 8. Sales is a priority. Nothing happens until someone sells something. I first heard that from my dad, and since then I've heard it from every other sales trainer. Nothing happens until someone sells something. Making sales a priority in your company. I love to say, who's waking up this morning thinking about sales? Who's thinking about how is our company going to grow today? Number 9, selling is a priority. Now that's different from the one that I just said. Sales is a priority. Selling is a priority. And what I mean by that is that sales is a noun. Hey, what were our sales this week? Selling is a verb. Sales don't happen without selling. Selling is all of the activity that goes into making a sale. So what are the selling activities that you are holding yourself or your sales team to? When we're training a new salesperson, we love this analogy of 32 quarters. And we will literally put a stack of 32 quarters on the table. And we'll say that these quarters represent 15 minutes. You get to start every day with 32 quarters. And you have to spend your quarters. You can't save them. What is the very, very best way to spend your 32 quarters? And what that means is, what is the highest and the best use of your time as a salesperson today? Now go to work and spend your quarters wisely. That's huge. Lastly is this. If you get serious about your sales career, you will become a victim of the imposter syndrome. And let me tell you, friend, that's a good sign. The imposter syndrome is this idea that when you commit to growing yourself, growing your company, all of these voices, that inner critic is going to come in and say, who do you think you are that you can have a company this big or this good? And so that imposter syndrome is a good sign that you're pushing yourself. You're doing hard things. And so be aware of it, shut off the voices, and go forward. Let me end with this quote again by Eileen Fram, because it's just so good as we think about the belief systems. How you think about business is how you end up doing business. And how you think about business has everything to do with how you think about sales. So bring that awareness into your belief systems about your company and your sales and your selling. See you next week with part 2.
Thanks for listening to the Plantscape Business School podcast. If today's episode helped you think differently about your Plantscape business, share it with a fellow owner and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. For tools, training, and resources to help you build a business that really works, visit PlantscapeBusinessSchool.com. Plantscape Business School. Uncomplicate your business and expand your life.